A very warm welcome to all of you from many places across the world. I like that. I like that very much. Thank you so very much for giving me your time. Time is precious, so I'm very grateful to have you here with me tonight. So tonight is all about relationship. So stop sabotaging your relationship. We're going to learn why that happens, why we keep having the same patterns. So for those who are happy to share, and I'm going to go through a few housekeeping here, please let me know what is it that you're struggling most with when it comes to relationship for you. So a couple of housekeeping. Firstly, the chat is a private chat. What does that mean? It means I can see your messages, I can see all of your messages, but you will not be able to see other people's messages. I do feel I can share them if it resonates. Also, the camera is off during this webinar, and you will not be able to talk as well during the webinar. But I love answering questions, so please feel free to put your questions down in the chat section. If you want to chat with me, please use the press button and send your message that way. Okay, lovely. So some comments about what is it that you're looking for when it comes to relationship for you. There's somebody mentioning walking out due to anger and strong reaction towards the other person, towards the partner. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Yes. I would like to feel safe in a relationship. I have not felt love, and I would like to know what it is. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's very beautiful. Thank you. All comments can go in the chat section, please. You will not be able to talk. Lovely. Okay, so without further ado, let's start. So the title of this webinar tonight is Stop Sabotaging Your Relationship. We're going to learn why we do it. And I'm your host this evening. My name is Aurora. I am a hypnotherapist, an RTT hypnotherapist, relationship and fertility coach. And I love working with patterns, the subconscious mind, and really giving breakthrough to people. Okay, so when nothing's working, all the self-help isn't working, the key lies in the subconscious, and we're going to see why that is very shortly. I can't feel that thing with other person, they're all like friends to me. Oh, well, that is so interesting. I love that. Thank you. Oh, lovely. Well, I'm glad you understand how it works. Hello. Hello. Please feel free to put your questions down. I would love to be able to answer them. So this session tonight, because I have been running a different program about sabotaging relationship that was for women only, but the session tonight is for both men and women. So you're all welcome to stay. Lovely. All right, so let's get going. So we're going to look at women, and most particularly smart women. Why do they unknowingly push love away? So very often, when it comes to women, there's a tendency to be brilliant, right? There's a lot of pressure for women in particular to be brilliant in many areas of life, and also to not depend on men, right? And whilst this is fine in the work space, this does not work and does not apply at all when it comes to relationship. So when it comes to loving and caring for someone else, rather than just being, right, they're doubling the effort, right? They're doubling the effort. And what happens very often, the patterns repeat. The connection is likely to fade after a few months, and we have a tendency to go to repeat the same cycle. So when it comes to relationship, it's vital to leave the man to take the action. And if the man is not taking the action, then you might want to reconsider that, deeply reconsider that. And then for a woman, if the guy really cares about you, he's going to do whatever it takes to get you back, right? But that's a different scenario. So how we want to be getting out when it comes to, either dating or even if you are in a relationship. Actually, please let me know how many of you here are already in a relationship or single. You can put REL for relationship or S for single. Thank you. Put down my guard and allow my partner to love me, and also think I have avoidant tendencies which make it very hard. Yeah, for anyone to make a true connection. Yes, and what have you done so far to help you? I would like to stop pushing my wife of 17 and a half and pull her back into love. This time is in genuine and purity. Why do women lie, cheat, and self-sabotage when we know better? Oh, well, you're going to see that very shortly. And there's an answer here that I'm happy. I would love to help because that's what I love doing with people, is to look at the belief system, and it all happens, unfortunately in childhood, and we need to rewire it. Even though we know better, we can't do better, right? Yeah. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that. Okay, in relationship, wonderful. Single, it all depends how demanding someone is to be again in a relationship. Ooh, ooh. I don't know if I'll agree with that, but thank you for sharing. Single, I would like the chance to date with intentions to a long-term relationship. I only have first dates. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Single, relationship, single, single, single. Okay, mainly single. Wonderful. Lovely. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. So when we look at women in relationship, there's that tendency to be seen as strong. And we're going to come to that in a minute, but it's important to understand that this is not all about effort, right? It's got actually nothing to do with effort. It's a pattern that we have acquired, like somebody talk about avoidant attachment style. So it is one of them. So some people are avoidant, some people are anxious, and some people are a bit of both. And depending who they are with, they can easily flip. So, and it all happens because this is part of what we call our survival mechanism, right? So from when you were a baby, actually from when you were in your mom's belly, from my own experience of working with clients, from when you were in your mom's belly up until the age of about 8, 9, you have learned, which is deeply embedded in our subconscious mind, in your subconscious mind. How is it that you react to others? How is it that you're going to please? And unfortunately, we've bent backwards. We've sort of abandoned ourselves to please our parents just for love and attention, right? And depending on how all of us are made, some have grown to be very avoidant in terms of not wanting to feel vulnerable, in terms of not wanting to feel any connection, and hence to opening up to others. So there's a shutdown, and some others they just go about and asking for that love, for that connection that they really want to feel fulfilled, right? To feel love. Okay. So this is you. You might find yourself in those situations or in one of them. And overthinking, right? Especially when we talk about people who are anxious, there's a tendency to analyze texts over and over again, overthinking the tone of the conversation, when the text was sent, at what time, how long after. And it just goes into a cycle that never ends. And it's emotionally exhausting, right? Both for you and for the other person. Things might have started off very good, right, for a couple of months or so. But then, because your brain is wired to go back to what is familiar, always, whether it is good or bad, your brain doesn't care, right? All it cares is to bring you to what is familiar. So that's your survival mechanism, that's your nervous system that's kicking in, and that will basically sabotage the relationship, whether it's love relationship, whether it's at work, and it manifests in all areas of your life, right? So, and also there's a lot of giving without receiving, right? I often talk about women who, for women, it's important to receive, right? And for men, it's very important to give, to provide. That's the balance between the feminine and the masculine. But often you'll see a lot of people really giving without receiving. And and that imbalance causes a lot of friction, a lot of not being deserving, not being cared for, because we all have our own love signature, how we want to be loved and how we give love to others. So, and the pattern goes on and on and on, right? And we do lots of self-help. We've looked at lots of books, lots of various little things that help us. And in many ways, they have helped us to 40%, 60%, 70%, but it's just not there. And you still feel triggered, you still feel let down, and you still say, it's happening again, right? Is that resonating with you, with some of you? And if it's not, please let me know if it's not. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'm really sorry. Right. So I'm very scared the person will leave. I am in talking stage. I'm very anxious about getting attached because in the past everyone leaves me and I don't like this. Unless lately I overthink everything. It made me feel needy. Yeah, I hate it. Yes, this is what's happening to me right now. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Right, it is not. I am live. It is not pre-recorded. I am a person, right? Uh, I've had that before, and it was terrible. So the chat is a private chat. Um, all my sessions are live. I don't pre-record anything, not yet. Anyway, I don't think I will because I love the interaction. Oh, pleasure, pleasure. Oh, I appreciate your apology. No, no, it is. It's just it's just a private chat. So basically, you don't get to see other people's chat. I get only to see your chat. Okay? Yeah, giving without receiving. To me, it depends if the partner is having the same mindset. Yeah, but that's living like as if you're walking on eggshell, isn't it? If you do that, it's very transactional. Is that how you want a relationship to be transactional? You do this and I do that. When I talk about giving and receiving, it's nothing to do with transactions, right? It's coming from the heart space. It's not coming from a mind space where you do this and I'll do that. But you can genuinely feel that the other person cares, right? What I'm saying. Yes, overthink, then feel anxious, materially give flowers, but not emotionally give, and repeat the frustration. Yes. Oh, bless you. Bless you. So there's a block to being vulnerable, right? From what you're saying. I would like solution to stop this. I just want someone to stay. I just want to feel like I matter and I am appreciated for exactly as I am. Oh, bless you. That feels very deep to me. Yeah, it is possible though, Catherine. It's very possible. Yeah, transactional. My analytical brain goes into the tit for tat. What do I get in return for this? Yeah, yeah. Thank you everybody for sharing. Really loving this, loving it. Wonderful. So let's keep going, shall we? And you're more than happy to bring your questions. So let's look at the real problem, right? And it's important to think that because there's nothing wrong with you, right? It's not as if you're broken. It's not as if, there's just you're messed up, right? It's nothing that. What it is that you're simply loyal to patterns. I just love that. You are loyal to patterns that have kept you safe. And it's very subconscious, right? And you will keep repeating those patterns if they are not changed on a subconscious level, right? It's very important to stress on it. And you've adapted, right? You've adapted. In fact, you have abandoned yourself. Long time ago, probably when you were 2, 3, I had a woman who abandoned herself at 6 months old, and a man at just over a year old, right? That's the power of the subconscious mind. You have adapted. And once you adapt, it's very difficult for somebody from the external to come and help because it has to start within, right? It has to start within because the nervous system has been learning all those strategies to keep you safe, right? You've survived in relationship, but you're not living relationship. You're not enjoying it. You're not feeling free in it. And those strategies that have helped you, they're unlikely to help you now from now on or over the last 5, 10 years, how many X years, because they're not meant to get you to get to the next level. They are very restrictive. But nobody's to blame here, right? I'm not blaming me. I'm not blaming my parent. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not blaming your parents. It's just the way we have been, our survival mechanism has been developed, right? So we all have, we can easily link it to the software, to a software. We have had a particular software that needs to be cleaned. That's it, right? There's nothing wrong. It's just we've taken things from left, right, and center, and these are not helping us. And that's why trying harder will not work, will never work. In fact, if a woman is trying harder, the man is less likely to feel attracted to that person, right? For the guys who are here, can you validate that? Can you confirm that it is not attractive? Unconsciously, I roll my eyes when my wife asks me to put away her earbuds, which lead to her claiming I make everything about me. And what have you done to help you so far? I would always prioritize others while neglecting myself because I didn't think I deserved good treatment or care, and I always felt inferior. Yeah. Feeling not good enough, right? I feel that if I don't have enough money, I'm not worthy of having a woman in my life. Yeah. Where does that belief come from, Bill? Yeah, she pulls away. Absolutely. Absolutely. To be fair, it's been a very long time since I've broken the past. Since I've broken the past, the talking phase, I really do desire a relationship where it doesn't feel performative. Yeah, I like that word, performative. It's not nice, is it? Probably my fault. Yeah. Yeah, but it's so deeply ingrained in your subconscious mind that it's hard to rewire it. And what have you done to help you? Thank you for the comments and the share, everybody. So, as I've been mentioning, when it comes to the subconscious mind, awareness is not enough. Because awareness operates, we're going to see in a moment, at the conscious level. That's why when, I don't know if you know him, but the guy who talks about awareness, what's his name? Oh, I forgot his name. About being present. When we talk about being present, we talk about conscious present, being consciously here in the moment, right? And when awareness is not enough, because we can be aware of so many things, and yet do we get to do what is it that we're wanting to do? No. If we're wanting to stop smoking, right, we have awareness that this is not good for us. We have awareness that, oh, I really want to stop, but I just can't, right? Or if we stop, we go back to the same pattern again, and it doesn't help. So awareness is not enough, because willpower doesn't reach the subconscious mind, the nervous system. Talking is not going to help it, right? You've probably been talking about it to your friends, to some CBT therapist or something, and it hasn't helped, right? Or if it does, it takes a very long period of time to get to the result that you want. So the truth is, real change requires a nervous system recalibration. It requires work in the subconscious mind, right? It's as if like you're saying like to a plumber, right? Your water is broken and you went to get an electrician, but that's not going to help, right? It's different tools. You want to be using the right tools, right? And I don't mean to be, mean about it. It's just a different approach. Of what is it that you use to get the result that you want as quickly as you can, right? And some methodology takes a long period of time, whilst others are very quick. So, yes, I definitely relate to the statement about feeling less of a man when your funds are low. Yeah, I can understand that. It comes to self-worth, isn't it? Am I good enough? Right? Am I worthy enough? I'm looking for a man who is interesting. I'm curious about many things myself, and I don't want to be bored. And men usually only like TV and football. What do you think? Well, I don't agree. I don't agree. You have different types of men for different sort of women, right? Your energy, what is it attracting? Is your energy so focused on men who likes TV and football? That's the only sort of men that you attract. Right. Ah. So you're asking about what have I done to change those beliefs? And the answer is nothing. With some of these beliefs or feelings, I don't know where to start. I do other things than watch TV and football. You see, there's one man here who does other things than TV and football. Right, I like that. Okay, so let's look at why we sabotage. Okay, why we sabotage is because the subconscious mind, it's all to do with the subconscious mind, right? The subconscious mind will always look at making you feel safe. Let me rectify this actually. The subconscious mind, 98% of the time, looks at your safety. Are you safe right there and then? Will that situation feel safe to you? Right? And safety is very important. It doesn't matter whether there's love or not, as long as you're safe. And the reason why is because we go back to your nervous system that needs to feel familiar, right? You will always choose what's familiar. Even if the outcome is terrible, it will go to what's familiar, what is safe. And again, it comes to that early conditioning from 0 or when you're in your mom's belly up until the age of 7 or 8, and it will recreate the same pattern. Actually, the pattern gets worse as you repeat them. For example, your last repeated pattern would probably have been more intense than the previous ones, right? If that resonates, put a yes in the chat for me, please. So the most recent pattern you've had would have been more intense than the previous one. Okay, let me see. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Thank you. Thank you very much. And it will get worse and worse and worse until something is done. And unfortunately, the way it's been happening in some people in the past, especially women, they try to just cut everything off. They've just put a stop onto relationship altogether. And that's not a healthy way. It's not a healthy way because, especially in the world where we are now, there is so much awareness that we are having about our mental health, about bettering ourselves, right? For example, you're here because you want to better your situation, so you're seeking help. And because there's that possibility of choosing something which is not familiar, right? Choosing something that is not familiar, that have a possibility or a higher chance of getting you where you want to be. So initially, for the first, 10 minutes or so, you might feel very scared or very weird, but for a short period of time. But knowing that the long-term results are a lot better, has a lot more peace, is not familiar because your nervous system is not used to it, right? So, yeah, quite a few yeses. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Um, my problem is that I always attract older men who take advantage of me when I clearly don't like them. And I try to attract normal people, but it feels like handsome, good men. They like other women, but not me. But the thing is not that I don't like predators or toxic. I cut them off. I like calm, consistent, trustworthy people. I hope that helps. Yes, yes. It does. It does. But it's still coming off from your energy, right? That's what's calling people in. That's what's also repulsing people in some ways. Does that help? It's all to do with the energy you embody. So when it looks at, so we've been mentioning attachment imprinting earlier on, which is really, again, deeply embedded in your system. And I'll quickly go over them here because I've already mentioned them. So we're talking about anxious patterns where people overgive, people are hypervigilant, constant fear. There's a lot of fear of rejection, right? Fear of not being good enough or not being worthy. And then you have avoidant patterns, so those people who experience withdrawal, in independence and emotional shutdown. And they are so independent that would literally keep people away from them, right? They don't want any interaction, and they want to be seen as strong, as not needing anyone else. Because if you need someone else, means you're weak, right? So that's avoidant. And then you have a mixture, a mixture of both. Now, people can have both, right? And often in a situation, if they, for example, somebody who's got both, and they go out with somebody who is anxious, they have a tendency to adopt the avoidant patterns. Whilst if they go with somebody who's avoidant, they have a tendency to adopt an anxious pattern, right? So I myself, I was avoidant, and I had to work, and I had to do really deep work on myself. And now I happily ask for help. I have no shame asking for help, and it feels good. It feels lovely. But it took me 3 years, 3 years of really deep rut that I do not want to experience again. So, so if you feel comfortable to sharing yours, I would like to know what is it. I know some people have already um, written some stuff down. Can I know what you did to help you? Well, when I started, I started with self-help. Sorry. And I'm very reflective, right? And I use various tools. I'll tell you my story in a moment, then you'll know what helped me, right? Just bear with me rather than me repeating it again. Right. So, what if I attracted people who were good? Well, the thing with me, I didn't want anybody in my life. I didn't want people in my life. And I just didn't want people in my life. But I'll tell you my story. I'll tell you my story in a minute, okay? Just bear with me. Um, but what I wanted to say here, very importantly, is that if you're born with a particular character, it doesn't mean you're going to die with it, right? Because we all evolve. And especially now in a world where we are all changing, we evolve, but it demands that we do inner work. It demands that we seek help if we can't help ourselves, right? And it's also important to understand that you're just responding, right? It's a survival mechanism, it's how you respond to the outer world, right? So it's very important to have empathy, to have compassion for yourself, and to not abandon yourself, to know that, things can change. And the last one, or number three, actually, why we sabotage, is we've looked at that system that tried to protect you. And often we have an identity, right? When we have a particular identity and we're wanting to change, there's a sort of pull back and forth about, let's say, for example, somebody who wants to be the strong one, always capable, and then starting to go out and asking for help. So they might be perceived as being weak, right? They might be told, "Oh, but you used to do everything yourself. What's wrong now? What's the matter with you?" And because they notice that there's a shift in identity, they might want to go back to being that person who's strong. But it's important to persevere. It's important to persevere because you're never going to please everybody all the time. This is impossible, right? You cannot please everybody all the time. And that's why in this work that I do, I encourage people to choose them. Always choose them. When you're traveling on a plane, they say to you, put on your mask first and then your child. You choose you first. Vital, right? But when we look at, having that balance, that back and forth in terms of, do I put the barriers up? Do I say no? Do I ask for help? And then we go back to thinking like, is it worth it? They might not like it. They might think I'm X, Y, and Z. But it's important to uphold that boundary, to uphold the new identity. Because if you're not, again, the pattern continues, right? So there's the strong one, there's the one who always understands, right? Not demanding. And the other one, the one who's low maintenance. When I went into my last relationship, what that was a while ago, I was very low maintenance. When I look at it now, I used to feel quite ashamed about it. But I was thinking, never again am I going to put myself as a low maintenance person, right? So, but it feels selfish to always choose myself. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong to feeling selfish. I'm working on my confidence with YouTube videos. They are helping my work motivation. I don't want to please everyone. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. I always felt secure, then I met an avoidant, and now I'm very anxious. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. You're probably both, a bit of both. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Thank you. It's in the energy, right? So what should we demand from others so we are not low maintenance? You don't demand anything. It's an energy that you embody, right? So let's keep going. Thank you for the question. I'm loving the question. So in love, when we go and put ourselves to loving somebody, to feeling vulnerable, it's scary. And often it can sort of threatens an identity that we've already built. And we're being asked to change, to make some changes. How open are we to that? How reluctant are we to it? And again, it depends on that internal mechanism that has been running the show for most of your life. So I want to share with you my story, if I may. So my story comes from an anger issues that I had. I was a semi-professional volleyball player, um, and when I was playing, obviously, you know, when you hit the ball, all the anger just goes. And when I became a single parent and I had to when I became a mother and I had to push the buggy, somehow the ligaments in my wrists were gone. Just like that, all of a sudden, both hands. And obviously I couldn't play, right? And when I couldn't play, I just realized that I was not happy. I was getting triggered a lot. And because there was no outlet for the energy, I was actually angry with everybody in my environment, even with my child. And it was terrible. It was awful. And with that came a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, and I was not happy. I was not happy at all. And after a while, it lasted for quite some while, and obviously, I was not in a nice place. I started to look at myself, to look at my triggers. I'm very in, as a hypnotherapist, I suppose I should be, but I didn't know it at the time, right? I realized that I could look at myself and analyze myself, and most importantly, take the actions that I needed. So, first thing that I noticed about me was that I was avoidant, and it came from a very unhealthy masculine energy that I embodied. And even though, I would come across like as confident, I would come across as independent, which I liked, but it was not from a healthy, space. It was very unhealthy. And I thought like, okay, well, if that's the case, then I really have to do something about this. And that's when I started to learn about feminine embodiment, learn about my reaction, my triggers, and how I could connect more to my feelings. And it was the first time that I felt peace in my life, like ever, early 40s. And I was thinking like, there's more to it. And I've put on a lot of weight in my late 30s. And I realized, and I started doing hypnotherapy, and I realized that that's not helping, right? And when I did the hypnotherapy, it started because I had a panic attack in 2022 or something like that, 2021. Anyway, a few years ago, I had a panic attack. So I went to have a hypnosis session. It sort of put it on the side for a little bit, but there was a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear, and I never felt fear before. I didn't know what that meant, feeling afraid of stuff. Um, and I thought, like, I can't live like that. I really cannot live like that. I couldn't take the tube. I couldn't do anything. And if I took the tube, I had to be speaking to people to calm my nervous system. And it was one of the worst experiences of my life, honestly. I thought like I need to do something. So when I started doing my hypnotherapy, I did some CBT that helped a little bit. But the one that helped really was to connect to my body, to go back from my head into my body. And I did some energy healing. I don't know if you call it. It's called permission to reset. I did that, and that helped. That helped to a large extent. I would say to 95%, right? Because I was doing both at the time, CBT and the energy healing, but the energy healing was the one that that helped. So, and still though, when I was going on the tube, there was still some elements of fear. What if it came again, right? And I was not happy with this. So I said I need to clear it. So when I actually did my training, when I did my training, and I said I'm going to work on this because I don't want to. I want to take the tube without feeling scared. Gone. One session and it was gone. And then I started working on my patterns, right? Patterns from families, from past. What is it that was repeating? And because I was open, I wanted the best for myself. It happened so quickly. I even had people saying to me, I have never seen people reprogramming their belief system that quickly within days. And when I work now with my clients, it's just phenomenal. Within days, they can start feeling the shift happen. And it's beautiful. So for me, what has helped, from the question that some of the people were asking, what helped me was getting inside, getting to love myself. And what part of myself did I not love? And also, what helped me was to heal my mother wound, to heal my father wound, and to heal the inner child. But really at the root, not just like it's at the root. When you heal it at the root, it's a different matter. Because now I am in a space where I feel proud of my parent, my mom and dad, and I never felt proud of them. Never, my entire life. Um, and you have a switch in energy. So for me, because I came across as very strong, for me, I took the role of a parent at the age of 8, which obviously is completely bonkers. But that's when you go in the subconscious, when you're working with the subconscious, you understand what's happening. Same as one day I was working with a client at the beginning of last year. She would go to work and come home, but she would never get out to enjoy herself. Always go out to work and get back home. We had a session, and the very next day, that woman was flying to Paris. That's how transformational it is. And when we did the session, she went back to being 6 months old. 6 months old, and her mom tying her to the bed so that she wouldn't fall off the bed. Again, it was to protect, right? To protect. But the brain, when you're 50s, I think she was 60 something, and not traveling and not going out, not enjoying the outside world. I mean, that's suffering for God knows how many decades. And to be released from that. And that's a real story. Unfortunately, I didn't ask her for a testimonial. I probably can, but it's been such a long time. But it was beautiful. It was really, really beautiful. So, and I love what I do now. When I see the breakthrough that people have, or even in their work environment when they're wanting to get the next promotion or showing up so more confidently in their space, to know that they are worthy, right? To work on that self-work, that belief that many of us feel we're not worthy. Many of us don't think you're the only one. Even the king doesn't feel worthy with some aspect of his life, right? So, but that's what I love doing, right? And that's why I am committed to transforming, to helping those who are ready to transform their own lives, to really shining and being authentic and to love the self, right? I am all about the self. You need the self sorted so that you perform better in the relationship. Anyway, that's my belief. So that's my story. And any question? Right, let me see. How can I also do energy healing? You do energy healing? Is that what you're saying? I'm not sure if that's what you said. Yeah. Ah, okay. People pleasing mixed with hyper independence is something I'm trying to heal from. My father came up very, I can do it all. Yeah. And that's somewhat rub off on me. Not that it's his fault, but I struggle at times. Yeah. Oh, it's a very simple one. It's not even energy healing. It's called permission to reset. It's something that we use to get you back into connecting to your body, and we use the senses with that. Uh, I was pretty sure I saw something else. Hold on. I was pretty sure. Sorry, I think I've missed somebody. If I haven't read somebody's comment, please let me know because I have a feeling I've missed somebody. Yeah. Yeah, please let me know if I haven't read your comment. Um, right, so let's look at the emotional toll that it has, on us, on our being, right? Because it's also important to realize that it just not happened all of a sudden. It's like a pressure cooker that's building and is building and is building. And unfortunately, as humans, we tend to wait for it to be quite high before we take action. Especially it happens in our 40s, right? Midlife crisis. And I would want to bring the awareness that it doesn't need to be that way. It doesn't need to be that way. And why is that? Is because when we start honoring what is it that we need in our 20s and 30s, the pressure cooker doesn't go high, right? Because we are being nourished, our needs are being met, we are making ourselves feel seen and heard, then it doesn't get the emotional toll that it would get in our 40s where we've had enough. It's too much. Nobody's listening, nobody's caring about me. So I strongly invite people to take action very much at a younger age. Unfortunately, not everybody does that. However, that said, I had three men who reached out to me at the beginning of this month, one 19 and two 22. I was gobsmacked. I mean, imagine if you start working at yourself that early on. I mean, how phenomenal you're going to be. I mean, this is amazing. Anyway, I was very impressed by them. Very, very impressed indeed. So when we look at the emotional toll, we're looking at you doubting yourself, you doubting every decision you make, you doubting how you feel, you doubting everything in life, right? And it's emotional roller coaster, big highs and big lows. And for some, unfortunately, they go into feeling like, they're just going to shut down, right? Just because they don't feel safe, they don't feel okay, and they just either take substances or drinks just to numb the feeling, just to prevent themselves from feeling. But no, we all know it doesn't help when that happens. And the other part that for me is very sad is the loss of confidence in the self. Because once we start losing our confidence, so many things go down. So many things go down. I love the balance between the masculine and the feminine, because the masculine is here to get the really nice within, right? Within, and we all have it within, is to really uphold, right? We have a feel-good factor when our masculine is strong and right and healthy. And we are immensely creative when our feminine feels safe. Because if the feminine doesn't feel safe within, feel safe to receive, then there's no chance that the relationship can work, right? So that balance is crucial for me. And perhaps I would like to call it, the masculine redefined, the feminine redefined, but it's all to do with the self, right? The self. Whatever happens in our lives is a reflection of the self. So, and there's obviously long-term cost. We look at repeating the same patterns with different bodies, right? We can be tired of it, right? Staying longer than we should probably, and leaving, not being able to feel vulnerable. And maybe I'm not meant to know what love feels like. There's bending backwards in terms of overgiving, overdoing. And the one that I hear quite a bit actually, and we seems to disregard it, is taking responsibility for other people's actions and emotions. When we defend others, do we really need to defend others? Right? Where does that come from? Right? And in relationship, chasing reassurance, chasing clarity. And the one that, for me was quite deep is lowering my own standard just to keep a connection. Was it worthy? Certainly not. Certainly not. Right? But all of these are gradual, right? You do it one day, couple of days, and unfortunately, it becomes a habit and it becomes your identity after time, right? So, for those who feel comfortable sharing, what is it you would like to achieve for you, those who join me afterwards as well? What is it you would like to achieve for you when it comes to you and your relationship? And when we look at what sabotage actually steals, it's a lot of things. We talk about erosion of trust in the self. We talk about losing feminine ease, difficulty to receive, whether we're a man or a woman, and we're not relaxing. We just cannot relax, right? The body doesn't feel safe enough to relax. And when we look at rewiring the subconscious mind, we look at the internal procedure to feel safe again, then we are in a position to create emotional safety because the body can connect again. And when we do that, there's less overthinking. There's more awareness. All of my clients, 100% have said they are more aware of what's happening. But the beauty, not the fact that they're more aware, they can stop the thought process and change and decide something else, choose something else, choose a different reaction. That's the power of the new awareness that you gain. And also, you have a can't be bothered attitude, right? Because you're not scanning. The body is not scanning for danger. So it's not tired. And also making the unfamiliar becoming familiar. And there's calm after a period of time. I won't lie to you, it can take a week or two, or it can take a bit longer. But because something has been unfamiliar for so long, right, or has been familiar for so long, adopting something that isn't familiar can take a little while to really kick in and sit in and become the new familiar, right? So, because when your nervous system recalibrates, everything shifts, completely everything, right? And self-love starts. And when you're able to love the self, then you feel more attractive, more emotionally available, and you attract people who are emotionally available. Oops, sorry, I've been too quick here. Who are grounded. You get to trust yourself. You get to, I love that, not be bothered about, what other people think about you, right? And that's beautiful. You get to communicate without collapse. And also you're building lasting change because when you work within, you work at the root and you remove it, you reframe it, you have a new relationship, you wouldn't want to go back. You can't even go back to the past you. But it takes a while, right? It takes a while. So my invitation for those who are ready is to change the internal signal. Once you do that, behavior changes. And that's what ends sabotage. All at the subconscious level, where we teach how your body can feel safe again. We look at dissolving old imprints at the root. It's very important to mention at the root. And when we want to have a new template for what love looks like. Because often, for many of us, we don't know what loves look like, right? We are in a phase where we are learning what it really looks like, what it means, and what it means for us personally. Because it's a feeling state, right? It's a deeply feeling state. So, and that work can be hard to do alone. It's hard to do alone because we're looking at the conscious, right? We're trying to resolve an issue in the subconscious with conscious, and it takes long time, like years, right? So my invitation is to work with me, allowing me to help you, not by giving you advice, not by giving you surface confidence or endless talking, but deep recalibration at the root to change the pattern that's been keeping you stuck where you are. So understanding, coming to that webinar, listening to it and understanding what it gives is a lot, but it's not everything. And if you're wanting more, if you're wanting solutions to happen for you, this is my invitation for you to start that work. Because when we look at the subconscious mind, it rules 90 to 95% of your daily behavior. 90 to 95%, that's a lot, right? That's a lot. And I did the math, it's only about 1 to 2 hours of conscious awareness that you have during the day. That's why people, when they finish work, they jump on a train or they drive, they're just on a cloud, right? They are somewhere else. So what does that look like? So conscious mind forms about 5% of your behavior. It looks at logical thinking, willpower, and just analyze. What is it that you analyze on a daily basis? You criticize on a daily basis for your work and being present. And it's fascinating. 5%. That's why we struggle so much to be present. Because 95% of the time, the subconscious mind is in charge. We get triggered. How many of us get triggered often, right? Often. Me, I'm in a place where I'm grateful. I want to be triggered because I want to know what I need to work on, right? But being triggered, I used to be triggered all the time. And that was tiring. And it's all down to those deeply held beliefs that we've had that's been blocking us, many of us. And we have automatic responses, right? Actually, reaction rather than responses. And once you work with your subconscious mind, you learn to respond rather than react. So overthinking is one of the results of the subconscious mind protecting you. Same with people pleasing. Same with holding boundaries. Same with you abandoning yourself because it feels safe. That's all. It doesn't matter the outcome. For the brain, for the subconscious mind, the outcome doesn't matter as long as you're safe. That's all that matters. And it's a loop, right? It's a loop that we repeat, unfortunately. There's a trigger, there's a reaction, we regret it, but we reset and repeat. That's the story of many of our lives, unfortunately. Any question for me so far? Oh, you're 19 as well. My goodness me. Blimey. Well done. Well, very well done. Wow. So many young people this month. Wow. That's the problem because it says to me to have a healthy love, I need to be calm and safe. But for me to feel safe, I need to feel loved. Yes, I absolutely want emotionally available people. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. This is very helpful. I have been asking myself what patterns show up and question what can I do different once I realize the anxious feeling and the self-doubt. I need to find the healing of the root. I would like to connect. Yeah, absolutely. My wife has asked of me safety, mentally safe, emotionally safe, financially safe. All sense of trust and safety has been broken at my doing. Oh, bless you. I've seen therapists, CBT, hypnosis therapists, psychiatrists, stress, etc. It's the internal signal that need to rewire. Yeah. When you did the hypnosis, how long was that? How long was the session? Because my sessions are very long. It's called rapid transformational therapy. It's very different as well. Thank you for sharing and to be vulnerable here. I really appreciate it. Security and confidence are the biggest desires when it comes to dating and relationship, allowing things to be as they are and avoid overreacting. Yeah, but you're coming from a place of not doing certain things rather than being natural with it, right? So in the work that I do with people, it's allowing that state to be, for everything to be natural, right? There's no, it doesn't require effort, right? It's just because you feel secure within, you feel calm within, everything shift, right? I've been working with a couple of people who've been, one of them I'll get you to listen to their testimonial, but she's been attracting really toxic partners, and it was incredible. She went on dating, um, and I do recommend it because I like results for my clients. I want to see how they react to other people, how they get triggered, and what needs to be worked on. So it's a process. But she would come to say to me, Aurora, like, I would not engage to these kind of men anymore. And that for her was amazing. Like, it was really big. It was really, really big. So it comes within, right? Once you feel safe within, everything starts shifting. But it is a process, right? It is a process. Thank you for sharing. Thank you very much. Personally, I really want to be loved and appreciated for who I am, and someone who stays because they love me for me. Yeah. Okay. Did that help a little bit? Or not too much from what you said? Hmm, okay. Because that as well is a good method. Okay. So let's keep going. I'm aware of time. So I love that picture, right? I really like it. So, when we're little, we're a baby, we just can't be bothered. Like, we pooed in our diaper, and we still feel like, I am the king, I am the queen. Look at me, everyone. And then somewhere along the road, unfortunately, many things happened, and we're not right, right? We're not right. So, so many things happen. But those things that happen and all those little things here, there are ways for all of us to release them, right? So you have two paths, right? Path one is you keep doing what you're doing, knowing you will continue the familiar patterns, you will repeat the same struggles, and you will experience the same outcome. And that's okay. If that's you, that's okay. Because the work that I do, you really want to do it, right? And I experienced the greatest results with people who really want to do it. And the second one, the second path, path two, is for those who are ready to say, I want something different for me. I want to get rid of an identity that's not serving me anymore, that I don't need anymore, and I want to embrace a different way of being. I want to feel secure within. I want to respect myself. I want to love myself so that I'm in a position to attract in somebody who's healthy, because we're all energy, we vibrate at different energies, and we really want to get unstuck and to thrive, right? To thrive, to experience life and to be happy, right? That's what I want for people. So if you're with me, you're wanting to know how is it you can transform your life, transform those beliefs that have held you back, then I invite you to come with me on path two. But if you're choosing path one and you say to yourself, I am not ready for this, and this is deep work, but it's only uncomfortable for just a little bit, like a little bit, I'm talking about minutes here, not days or weeks, minutes. It's uncomfortable for a few minutes and that's it, right? But if you're path one, that's fine. You keep doing you, right? When you're ready, you know where to find me. But for those who are ready to thrive and to welcome life, to feel liberated, to feel free, knowing that there are huge benefits when you rewire the subconscious mind. One is the self-awareness that all of my clients have acquired, not just self-awareness in terms of, I'm more aware of certain things, but being able to stop the thought and to regain control, right? Regain control of your thought. Now, how many have control of your thought? Because to be honest, we don't even know our next thought, right? We might say, I need to think about certain things, and then, oops, we thought about something else. We don't even know our next thought. So clearer boundaries where you're owning your voice and you're having control, you get your power back, and one of less mental noise, but also beautifully transforming your relationship, all of your relationship, whether it's at work or at home, all of them start shifting. And you're able to connect more, to create deeper and safer intimacy with others. So why does the change last? So the change lasts for many reasons. First of all, because it is client-centered, so I don't guide the session. So the client would walk me through them. I'll guide initially, but then the answers come from them. And often we need 1 to 3 sessions for one particular cause, but it lasts because we look at the root causes, where it's coming from, and we work with the subconscious mind, right? Because when you work with the subconscious mind, there are lots of changes that happen. And the other thing, I don't know for those who are aware of human design, for me, I am a projector. I'm here to guide people, right? I'm here to guide people to various things. And as a projector, we are about 20% of the world population. I'm meant to be guiding a fifth of the world population, like a fifth of my one, right? Of my environment. So if you're feeling called to it today, right? If what I'm saying resonates, or you just feel called to it, then it's very possible that I may be your guide. Your guide to transforming and helping you transform your inner world, to embrace 2026 very confidently. So what I offer is one rapid transformational therapy, which is called RTT, rapid transformational therapy. It was developed by Marissa Peer, and I trained with Marissa Peer. And with that, it's about 2 hours long, and I split it into 2 sessions. In the first session, it's a 30 minutes call, conscious, you and I talk on Zoom We discuss your areas of concern. We discuss what is it that you're wanting, right? Because even though I am a therapist, but I'm very much forward focused in getting you where you want into that next phase of your life, whatever it may be for you. And here we're talking about relationship. And all of that, you get also the 90 minutes of actual hypnotherapy session. So we go deep dive. So on the first day, we schedule the next call. And I get to prepare something as well for you. I'm going to come to that in a second. But a week or two, a day or two later, we'll look at your 90 minutes hypnotherapy session. And it's all done online on Zoom. I've been working with people from all over the world. And one hypnotherapy session is $350. That's the investment you get to invest for you for changing your belief system. And it's premium offering because the methodology is amazing and it works, right? Hypnotherapy, RTT hypnotherapy has got a success rate of 85 to 90%. That's very, very high. And me personally, it's 95%. So it's very high. And I love results for my clients, very important. So that's that. But you also will get a day or two later a phone call, which lasts for about 15 minutes, just for me to check in with you because I support you all the way along. I do not have a session and just leave you, right? I want to be there to see what's happening. What help is it that you need? What is it that we need doing, right? And then, so that's worth £100. On top of that, we get 2 follow-up sessions. One sort of 10 days later and another one 21 days later. And these are 30 minutes each. And we look at what's working, what's not working. What is it that, because I'm very much into feelings, right? Get you to feel things. And if I need to get you to do some other stuff in that session, that's there as well, right? Because I want results. I just want results for my clients. And that's why $350. In addition, I will prepare an audio recording that you get to keep for a lifetime. Now, this audio recording is very important because the actual session, you'll get sort of 70% of the work done in the session. And then that audio recording is here to bring in new neural pathway. Because remember, the subconscious mind learns by repetition. And when we had that talk for the first time we meet, that conscious talk, I get to ask you, what is it that you want? So I go and I prepare a recording for you that I finalize after the session. And it has got your future, new neural pathway that is being built by you listening to that audio recording for at least 21 days. So it requires a commitment from you to be able to get the results that you want, right? They all have listened to it, to be honest. They all love listening to the recording, and that in itself is worth $350. So the transformative healing is priceless, right? When you're looking at that lady who went back 6 months old, tied to the bed, to next day flying, there's no price to that. You look at many of my clients, like another one who was 85, she was still working, having about 2 weeks of headache in a month that prevented her from working, to the headache really subsided by a good like 80%. And she would have it occasionally, but it wouldn't last long, like an hour or so. Gone, 80% gone in just one session. Or even another one who was bullied at the age of 2, right, by family members. That's been blocking her all the way along. She's been trying to have her business, not working. And now she's choosing herself, right? She's happily choosing herself and experiencing results, like big results for her business, for where she's moving. But I had to, for the sake of that webinar, I had to put a figure. So I'd say £1,000, but obviously it's worth more than that. So let me just recap what you are having is one hypnotherapy session worth 350, a call 2 days later worth £100, two follow-up session. I use NLP in my sessions. I use coaching in my sessions. Various tools. I also use permission to reset in my session. That's worth 350. The personalized audio recording worth 350, and the transformation that you get worth more than £1,000. And all of that today, instead of 2,150, it's only 350 for all of that. So I'm not asking you to pay that today. However, I will ask you to fill in the form because I like to work with people who want to experience results, who want change for them, right? So if that's you, please fill in the form and I'll show you how it works. I'm based in the UK. I have some availability tomorrow. I haven't had the time to change the form, but I'll let you know now. Actually, let me see. Thank you. Thank you very much. I've never had that before, but that's fine. Let me show you the form that you get to fill. Just 1 second. Right, so that's the form that you get. So continue to destination. So you put your email down, right? It will ask you for your email. It will ask you for your name, your surname. You put your country code and your phone number. If you're based outside the UK, I will call you on WhatsApp. If you're in the UK, I will call you on normal mobile. But please put the country code 001 for the States, plus 41, plus 43, etc. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to see those changes in your life? 1 being not at all, and 10, I am ready. Now, I am not available in the afternoon. So if you put in either 11:30 or noon, I am available. And for those who are available, I think I am available at 2. I have to check it. But otherwise, put an other, and I will send you a message just to confirm your availability. Okay? So I'm sorry about that. So please put any of those here, but do not put 2:30. I think I have availability at 3. 3:30. Anyway, so please put other and I will message you on WhatsApp or email you to see what's best. Please check your spam folder just in case it's lying there in the spam folder. And I would like you now to look at some people who I've worked with. Right. But before that, it's very important for me to stress that this is different work that you are doing because we go to the root cause of the problem. We go at resetting the nervous system to allow you to feel safer within. So it's for those men and women, who want to end sabotage at the root, build emotional security, choose love from clarity, not fear, and feel safe within. It's for those who are done surviving, or really tired and want to shift. So those who've been struggling, feeling overwhelmed, to wanting to feel calm again, restless to feeling peaceful, on edge, always on the lookout for the worst thing, to feeling grounded and safe within, to being patient, to being hopeful, to being clear on who is it you're wanting in your life, who is it you are wanting to become in your life, and having the courage and the energy And that new light, you know, the light that sparkles in our eyes when we feel excited for the future. So that's who you can embody very quickly. And people experience shift very, very quickly. So this lovely lady, Marion, has been very frustrated in her marriage. So we did some coaching and hypnotherapy session, and there was a lot of frustration, but I let her talk.
Hi, my name is Marion. I recently had an RTT session with Aurora. She really helped me to overcome some blockages that I'd been experiencing in my own relationship, something I'd struggled with for a long time. And it was really, really incredible to move on from somewhere that I was stuck for such a long time. She has an amazing ability to see into relationships and help you to move past things that are maybe making you stuck. Maybe you're getting a bit tied down or you're finding it so difficult. On top of that, her voice is amazing. I really enjoy listening to the recording, and I couldn't recommend her highly enough. She seems to have a knowledge way beyond her years with regard to relationships, and I just found life changing. Really, I couldn't recommend her highly enough. I wish her all the best in her new career. Thanks so much.
And this other lady, she's had again, she's another lady who had toxic partners, and it was just beautiful when the release happened in the session. It was very powerful, but I let her talk. She's a bit shy.
So my session with Aurora was to do with attracting a loving relationship into my life. During the session, we worked on things that were blocking that, and I felt during the session I got some clarity on reasons why I was attracting certain types of partners, and this really helped me to close certain chapters and move forward. After the session, I felt a lot of peace, and I felt closure would be the way to describe things. So I felt like I'd closed one chapter and I was ready to embark on another new beautiful chapter in my life. I really believe that it helped me shift my mindset into a more positive mindset, and now I'm looking forward to attracting a new partner and a new life.
So I'll let you to read these ones here. Let me see if I've got any question. Okay, you filled the form. Lovely. Are you in the UK? Okay, I'll check. If it's 12, I'm okay to call. If you put a 9, I'll message you in the morning to see when's best. Lovely, thank you. Yes, it's online. The sessions are online. Yeah. I work with people in America, from Alaska. I've worked with people in South America as well, Europe, I have a few in Europe, and South Africa, actually. Yeah. Thank you. So what will happen is you will get, so if we decide to work tomorrow, if I can help, you will get a link, and it will get you to book your first session, your first 30 minutes. And that will be a payment link. Yes, it's for 350. So you get a payment link to schedule the first 30 minutes. I will also send you a form to fill in so I can understand a little bit more, various areas of concerns that you may have, and to see what sections apply for you. And then we discuss in the 30 minutes all the things I've mentioned before. Thank you. Okay, no problem. Okay, speak tomorrow. Thank you. Sorry about that. So these are some of the other testimonials that I've had. I need to add some more that I've received recently. But that's your invitation to reset, right? To reset your relationship and to transform your belief system. Right, let me just put a recap here on all the things that you get for a hypnotherapy session, which will be the start of your healing journey. Sorry about that. Any question for me, please? Let me just put the link again in the chat. Yes, so there will be some, we can have the session, the 30 minutes this week, if everything goes, in accordance. Yeah, yes. Okay, okay. I'll speak soon. So, probably Wednesday. I have to check on Wednesday. Are you in the UK? Okay. So probably I think Wednesday I can do lunchtime, if that works. Yes, okay, cool. Perfect. Thank you. Any other question for me, please? No question? All right. Well, let me know, for those who are here, let me know what was your biggest takeaway in this webinar tonight. Yes, the 6-month-old baby. Yeah, that was a big one. That was a very big one. It's fascinating, isn't it? The power of the subconscious mind, because we don't know. Even I, when I go in a session with somebody, I don't know what's going to come up, and that's powerful. Time to put my mask on first. Thanks for the reminder. Pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. That's a good one. Yeah. The stress on self-love. Yeah. Yeah. It all starts with the self. Very much so. It's powerful. Because when you do that work, it just ripples into so many areas of your life, right? I had another gentleman I worked with, and he wanted body confidence, and obviously now he has a different relationship to his eating. He goes to the gym, he's enjoying it, and relationship with family members are a lot better. He's happier, right? Even when we talk on the phone, the tone in the voice is different. And often you would see that the face changes, right? It's lighter, the shoulders, there's less of a weight on. It shifts. It absolutely shifts. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. And for those who, oh, thank you. Look, thank you. Okay, I'll message in the morning to see when is best. Thank you. So for those who are not sure, what is it that holding you back? The price. Yeah, the price, well, it's a premium offer. You normally it's I mean, we're getting quite a few hours here. 4 hours for this. But also it's important to understand there's big shifts that happen in that session. And often I've had people who've done talk therapy um, for 2, 3 years to tell me in that one session that that's the equivalent of 2, 3 years of therapy. That's how deep it is. It's different to a normal hypnosis as well, which is 1 hour long. So this is quite deep and very profound because we go to the root. I hope that helps. Do you lose consciousness? No, you do not. You're fully in charge. That's a very good question, actually. So you're fully in charge from beginning to the end. You know what's happening. You're not passing out like you're on stage. It's not stage hypnosis. You're not passing out. You're fully aware what's happening. You just don't know what's coming out of your mouth. Uh, but you can tell what's happening for sure. Yeah. And then we get to interpret, those images and to release them. That's the key, the release. Thank you. Thank you. That's a very good question. Thank you. Any other question for me? Yeah, you can book it. It's non-committal. You just want to have a chat. You're more than happy to do it. Um, if you're not available, I am taken in the evening, so I'm not available. You can put a 9 and then I'll message you in the morning to see when's best to talk. Okay? Lovely. Thank you. Any other question? No? Okay. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this evening with me. Thank you very, very much for having stayed with me. 10 o'clock here in the UK. I'm going to let you off as I let myself off. But I look forward to talking to those who have filled in the form tomorrow or Wednesday. But thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much for the engagement, the questions, your participation, and most importantly, your presence. I really appreciate it. You take care, everybody. Bye for now.